A sensational comeback by Manchester City. The first half belonged to PSG and Mauricio Pochettino. And in the second, Man City were at their scintillating best. They pinned Paris Saint-Germain back. They gave them nothing. It led to petulance, red cards, and one maybe slightly fortuitous goal and an excellent free kick from Mahrez through the weak wall of Paris Saint-Germain. It's 2 away goals. It's advantage Manchester City. Hit that like button. Share this stream right now. Here we go. Welcome back to the Football Terrace and Give Me Sport. This is the fan phone in for you to come on and have your say live with us on the air. You may want to just get involved in the chat room. So make sure you get your comments in right now. Give us your views. Give us your opinions on that game. We have a super chat straight away here from Lengon Sweet, who says, I told everyone yesterday Man City would win 2-1 and that Mahrez and KDB would score. I don't sleep on Manchester City. And they thoroughly deserved it. There is no doubt about it today. They absolutely deserved it. Al here over on Facebook says Real Madrid versus City final. You could be right there, Al. You could be absolutely right. It could be the case. But Chelsea have got the advantage in the other game. It's going to be an interesting one. Nick here on Facebook on Give Me Sport says oil versus oil. One of them was bound to slip up. I see what you've done there. Aaron Valentine says, I don't get why Neymar spends more time on the floor than on the ball. God, I hate that overrated idiot. Overrated idiot is what Aaron Valentine says. And do you know what? There's so many things to unpack. That first half, Paris Saint-Germain were absolutely brilliant. They were off the chart good. There is no doubt about that. They were sensational. Neymar looked amazing. His intricate play in tight spaces was out of this world. There's no doubt about it. And then in the second half, non-existent. And Man City came to life. The passing, the movement, the ability to hold on to the ball. It frustrated the living daylights out of Manchester City. And it is what led to the 2 goals. Yes, you could say arguably KDB's was fortuitous. It was a cross-come shot that went in. The wall was very weak from Paris Saint-Germain, but Phil Foden could have scored a few goals, and City were worthy of their victory in that second half. It's going to make the second leg scintillating. What's going to happen? We've got JP here who says Man City should tuck the game away when they were down upper man. There might be a possibility of Paris Saint-Germain comeback. Ruben Diaz had Mbappe in his pocket. He did have a quiet game tonight. There's a comment here on Facebook on Give Me Sport that says Neymar whines too much. I want everyone's opinion tonight on Neymar, actually. I want your opinions right now on Neymar. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. Just under 1,000 of you watching now live on Give Me Sport on Facebook. All of you hit that like button now. Smash that like button for us. Share this on your feeds, your Facebook feeds, your Twitter feeds, your WhatsApp groups. Let's get as many people here as possible to discuss tonight's amazing Champions League game. What we witnessed was amazing. Artem here says 2 fortunate goals, but it doesn't matter. Man City deserved to win. They dominated the second half. Paris Saint-Germain looked absolutely pathetic. In the second half, bro, I agree with you. The second half must feel like such a disappointment to Paris Saint-Germain fans out there. Hamid says, for F's sake, they are going to win it. They are like a freight train that nobody can stop, and that makes me incredibly sad. How are you feeling, Terry? Look, I feel all right about it. I feel all right about it because from my point of view, I feel as though, I want to say this in the right way. I feel as though this is what my club should be looking at. Man City run their club impeccably well. It's why they're at the peak of their powers. It's why they're the best team in the world right now, because they're run so well. And I'm not jealous or annoyed about it. For me, it's just a case of I want my club to be run in that way. There's another super chat. We just had a moment from Marble Halls who says Paris Saint-Germain aren't top of the Liga, bottled the Champions League first leg. Poch won't be elite levels if he isn't careful. Yeah, Poch has got to watch it. If Mauricio Pochettino doesn't win, if he doesn't win the Ligue 1, the Uber Eats League, and goes out after taking the lead against City, people are going to be tarnishing his name. Farik here says all English final. That could happen, my guy. That could legitimately happen. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Let's do some more of these comments here. One of our members here. By the way, if you're watching over on Give Me Sport, come over to YouTube when you're finished and subscribe to us here at the Football Terrace. You're going to see us live after all the top 6 Premier League teams and major Champions League matches moving forward on Give Me Sport. But if you want even more live content, get yourselves across to the Football Terrace. Subscribe to us here. We can't wait to see you. Mofor here says, City put more effort in. These trophies are ours, is what he's saying there. Daniel says Paris Saint-Germain got tired. They lacked the winning mentality in the second half. And I think that's fair also. I think that is a very fair summary of what we witnessed. There's no doubt about that. What we witnessed tonight, I think that is a very fair point of view. There's a comment here from Mark. I want to get this up on the screen over on Facebook, where Mark here says, take Neymar and Mbappe out of Paris Saint-Germain. They're average at best. Who agrees with that? Tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, get your comments in right now. Are they really average at best, or are we downplaying the quality of Man City and how well they played in that second half to nullify the Paris Saint-Germain team? Langan Sweet says, Real Madrid, come outside. Man City will be waiting for you in the final. Langan Sweet there is completely disregarding Chelsea. He is disregarding Chelsea. KC in the house says, Poch is an idiot. Dominated the first half, had the better team, and now parked the bus. He's lucky that Barca and Bayern had Dembele and Choupo-Moting. Maybe. How many agree with that comment there from KC? Let's get some more of these comments in. Lots of super chats on their way over here at YouTube. Imagine hiring a bottle job manager full of a team of bottlers is what Queen in the North has to say tonight. Listen, Poch is a brilliant manager, but he needs to get the monkey off his back. He needs to get the elephant in the room, the bottle job tag. He needs to get rid of it. These are the games where you do that. Artem says, I think people are being too harsh on Navas. That was a really tricky ball to deal with KDB. Seen top goalkeepers get beat like that. Yeah, so have I. I've seen that goal on hundreds of occasions. There's no doubt about that at all whatsoever. I'm going to share the link in just a few moments for you all to come on and have your say. I want you all to come on and tell us what you're all thinking and feeling. Bear with me just a moment. All right, bear with me here while I get this done. I'm going to share the link in just a few said moments. So I'm going to share it over on Facebook right now. And then I will share it on YouTube in a few minutes for you all as well. There we go. Got some more super chat to do here. First one from JP, who says, City versus Chelsea, FA Cup semi-final rematch, same result. Juan C says, Terry, he's forgetting about Chelsea because he knows we'll beat them just like in the FA Cup. Chelsea fans are turning up in this stream now. They are having their say as well. Mark here says, Mason Mount and Phil Foden. How? When you say how, what do you mean? Do you mean wow? Do you mean wow, not how? I think you mean wow. That would make more sense. Drifty here says, we got a glimpse tonight of what Mbappe will be like against low block teams and when he isn't given space to run into. They said, I think that's a fair bit of criticism. I do think that is a fair bit of criticism. But Ballon here says it was the ultimate game of chase. City's front 6 versus Paris Saint-Germain front 3, and the former prevailed. Terry, credit to you. System over individual brilliance. Listen, Pep Guardiola has the ultimate system, doesn't he? He's the ultimate system manager. Were people expecting anything different? We've got a call here. It's going to be Stewie Pope, Stewie Pope, who's on the line here all the way over from Facebook. Stewie, what you saying, buddy? Oh, he didn't. He pulled out. Feel free to call in, mate. We don't bite over here. We want to hear from the fans. We want to know what you're all thinking, feeling, and saying. We have shared the link. We've pinned the comment up over on Facebook. So please dial in and have your say. Make sure that like button has been hit as well. We want to go past 400 likes on Facebook, and we want to go past 1,000 likes on YouTube. So let's get that done right now here at the Football Terrace. KC says Mbappe is technically, look at this comment. Mbappe is technically very limited, unlike Neymar and Di Maria. The guy turns into Dan James against half-decent defenders. Come on, KC. You can't mean that. You cannot mean that. You cannot mean that. Stefan's here says, fans are so predictable. Whoever lost the game would have been called bottlers. If Paris Saint-Germain win the semi-final, they will turn on Pep quick. Do you know what's interesting? I think what was disappointing for me tonight when watching Paris Saint-Germain this evening in that second half is they look lost. They look like they had no plan in the second half. That would be my concern. If I'm a supporter of their club, that would be my concern right now. That there was no idea, there was no way out, there was no substitution, no formation change, no system change that got them back into the game. That would legitimately be my concern. I would be worried about that. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. We've got Kesh and we've got Conroy backstage. We're going to bring them on in a moment to have their say. First up, Funny at best says Edison has more touches than Kylian Mbappe. Wow. That second half, I wonder how many he actually had in the second half. Kylian Mbappe. Let's go and check how many he actually had in the second half. Then I'm going to get the chalkboard up here. I'm going to go on to touches. Let's look at Neymar alone, because you've got the little cursor you can drag up and down on here. How many touches in the second half? Just 11 touches in the second half for Neymar. Really, really poor. And only one of them was in the box, and that was when he squared the ball. Do you know what? When you actually see this, let me show you these touches in the second half. Let me show you these touches in the second half for Kylian Mbappe. Not even near the box, let alone in the box. Barely any touches, but not even near the box. Look at the touches in the second half from Kylian Mbappe. Very, very poor indeed. Very poor indeed from Mauricio Pochettino. Super chat here says, miss my super chat. Appreciate Shevchenko. Pocketed Neymar second half. Different maker instead ship. I kind of get what you're saying there, bro. A little bit. I got a bit lost, not going to lie. But thank you for the super chat, buddy. Means a great deal to me. Dougie United says there is an imbalance in the Paris Saint-Germain squad. I don't know. Is there? Well, we're going to take calls on that to see what people are saying, what they're thinking, what they're feeling in relation to that. First up on the show with me right now is going to be man like Kesh. What you saying, buddy?
Mate, I know City won and everything, yeah, but I feel like when it gets to the latter stages of the Champions League, Pep always seems to overthink it at times. Like, if you look at that first half compared to the second, Man City wasn't playing the way you expect a Man City team to play when they commit players and create overload. I think he was way too worried about the likes of Neymar and Mbappe. He kind of like asked for Rodri and Gundogan to sit a bit deeper. And we've seen how devastating Gundogan can be when he gets that opportunity to go forward and just play that role and with a bit of freedom. Came out second half and they've done exactly that. And that's where City began to get into the game. And you saw PSG just lost it. Like, their bum started tweaking. And what you saw is Pochettino just bottling. That's the Spurs DNA, still there. Like, I know someone's saying about imbalance, but come on, you can't say imbalance. They had a DM there. They had two incredible forwards in Neymar, Mbappe, and Di Maria. And they've got two very good centre-backs. There's no imbalance there. That's all down to what the manager set his team out to come out and do in the second half. They went to a counter-attacking team compared to what there was in the first half. And when City started applying the pressure, they couldn't come back out of that role. They didn't know to go back into attack. And that's where they let themselves down today.
No, there's no doubt. When you look at the possession statistics in that game, if you look at the first half, it was. So when I put this into, so they did it was 45 to Paris Saint-Germain and 55 to City, but City didn't really have the ball in dangerous spaces. There was the Foden chance at the end of the first half. They had a lot of possession, but not much with it. In the second half, the possession stats changed dramatically in terms of Manchester City's favour. And look at that, it was 65. No, sorry, it's nearly 67% in the second half for City. And I guarantee, after the red card for them, the last 30 minutes, they would have had a lot more of the ball. But he obviously just got his approach wrong there. He should have carried on doing what he was doing and maybe gone to a counter-attack later on in the game. Do you see that as Paris Saint-Germain out now?
I think it's far too early to say how. At the end of the day, they're going away. We know this PSG team's got a lot of goals in them. When you look at the likes of Di Maria, Mbappe, and Neymar, you know they can create chances and score goals. It's just a matter of what do City do now? Do they go and try and sit back and hope that they don't really concede? Or do they go for that, you know what, we're going to be the better team. We're going to create the chances. We're going to take the game to them and just knock them out. I think it all depends on the psychology of what both teams come out and do.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be an amazing second leg. There's no doubt about it. But then 2 away goals could prove to be absolutely crucial when it comes to crunch time. Listen, bro, thank you very much for coming on tonight, Kesh, and having your say. Really appreciate that, mate. Top man indeed. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, or via the Discord server, we have shared the links for you to come on and have your say tonight. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Man City 2, an amazing comeback. Gay sent off as well. What a night of Champions League football we just witnessed. Next up, we've got Conroy here. Conroy, what you saying, buddy?
Good, mate. How are you? Everything all right? I actually thought it was really... Oh, good stuff, mate. I thought it was a really good game tonight, to be honest. It was actually thought it was quite entertaining. But I agree with what Kesh said. I actually thought Pep Guardiola is notorious for overthinking games, and I felt like first half City like massively lacked any cutting edge. I don't know if necessarily, I know they play the false nine, but it felt like when they were getting positions, it was like they looked quite toothless, or they're never going to really cause PSG any problems. It's like at halftime he's went, you know what? Just forget that. Just shove that out the window and just play like you normally would. And then they just dominated. I know what you said about sending off, but I just thought they absolutely dominated. And I really feel like, don't get me wrong though, goals obviously change games. I do think De Bruyne's goal is a little bit fortunate the way it works out. And then I heard the commentator say Mahrez had an amazing game. I like Mahrez, thought he had a good game, but I thought as soon as they scored that to make it 1-1. And obviously he got his goal. He just, like, you could tell the confidence was glowing from him. He was absolutely outstanding. But I just felt like City, to me, there was 2 teams, and that comment said about being bottlers. I feel like tonight's City answered questions on that, whereas we're saying lack of discipline was a surprise. PSG are notorious for that. They've got that in their DNA. It's not a Pochettino thing. You might relate with Spurs. I feel like PSG notorious for, if they got too many stars, does that mean that you're better to have a game plan and a system that works? Because eventually stars will just try and do everything themselves, or they'll lose their head. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, you could argue that Neymar should have been sent off because he ran 30 yards to try and get another player booked when he was on a booking. So I feel like tonight Man City answered that question.
What was interesting though, in that first half, Neymar and Mbappe were tracking. They were going with runners. They were defending. You could almost see, it was almost like in the first half, they knew that they had to put a performance in. And I sat there watching and thought, wow, Mauricio Pochettino is getting players like Neymar and Mbappe. And I mean to work, to track, to run, to defend, to work as a unit and as a team to get the better. And they had the better City, in my opinion. They had less of the ball, but they had the ball in more dangerous areas. They were more clinical. They were opening City up, and City didn't have a prayer. And I just sat there and thought to myself, could history repeat itself? Pep Guardiola has a terrible record in Champions League games when he's up against teams that are better than he's. He's lost every single game to a team that are better than he's in terms of that particular season. Are they better than him domestically or in general? And I thought, are we seeing that again tonight? But that second half display, it wasn't just the sit back. It was the lack of energy, the lack of work rate. And I think what we saw tonight, I tweeted in the first half and I said, Mbappe's too good for this game. In the second half, one of the reasons I dislike Neymar, did I say Neymar and Mbappe?
You said Mbappe the first time.
I mean Neymar. I tweeted said Neymar's too good for this game. In the second half, you saw the worst of him. Just petulant, falling over, moaning, not working hard. And I think that's where people stick it to him. Technically, one of the greatest football players I have ever seen. But you put every attribute that's required to be at the highest level. He's got certain things when the going gets tough.
That's what I was going to say. Exactly. It's great when you're winning, no problem, isn't it? You know, they never actually took the win from any play. Don't get me wrong, I thought they were very good first half, Terry, and I did feel like at times Man City, I thought, who is this Man City team? Because this is not a team I've been watching for 3 months. They just, as I say, their fullbacks were so conservative first half as well. Like Walker and Cancelo were just sitting so deep. And then you saw second half, like Walker's doing a 60-yard run, and actually they get the goal because they get the corner from that, and De Bruyne scores. I felt like he took the chains off. He just let them go and play second half, and you could see that. But as I said, it's like it's easy to do it, isn't it, when everything's going well and you're winning? But yet again, PSG, when the going gets tough, and that's what happens. It was the same against Bayern last year in the final, and that's what I think City are through for me, Terry. I feel like they'll have a spring in their step for that second game, and I feel like that scoreline will suit them, and I feel like they'll just have too much and score a few against them.
There we go. Listen, Cornrow, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate that, big man. Thank you. We've got some comments here from Facebook and from YouTube. Clean sheet, beat them 2-0 at the Etihad. Let's give Paris Saint-Germain some hope. I don't want to face being told Pep is the greatest coach of all time and City are the best. Let's squash Roma tomorrow. Listen, bro, I'm a Man United fan that presents on all these shows, and I do hear you on that. If I'm being a little bit biased, I do hear you and what you're saying there. Mark over at Give Me Sport says Neymar has stated he's scared to play in the Premier League because it's too physical. Says it all, doesn't it? No, Neymar, it's because you're too concerned with the size of your bank account. No desire to prove yourself in the best league in the world. No bottle is what Mark thinks. Over on Give Me Sport. We've got some more super chats to do here. I hope we haven't missed all of these. We can't put them all on the screen because the chat's going too quickly. It's unbelievable. Toba here over on Give Me Sport says up the City. If you're over there on Give Me Sport, make sure you're hitting that like and share button. Some more super chats here. First one from Man City is Blue says Paris Saint-Germain tired of tried getting KDB sent off tonight. He's got angry emoji faces on that. Lennon Sweet with the super chat, which I do think we can put up. I think this one's still available. There it is. Says, plan was to get Paris Saint-Germain tired. I think it worked. Just like Rocky 3 against Clubber Lang. That's what we saw tonight. Great tactics there, no doubt about it whatsoever. Thank you, City, from a Marseille fan. David Nunez there over on Give Me Sport. As a Marseille fan. Do you know what? Obviously, we cover the Premier League primarily here at the Football Terrace. I love seeing rivalry. Marseille fan, happy tonight that Man City won. And I'm sure if it was the other way around, there'd be Man United fans, Liverpool fans, etc., happy with Paris Saint-Germain beating one of their biggest domestic rivals. Let's go to some more of your calls. If you're watching over on Give Me Sport, the link is pinned to the comment section. Just click on that StreamYard link. Come on and have your say. We really want to hear from you. Over here, we're going to get Michael McIntosh on the show next. Michael, welcome onto the terrace. Who do you support, buddy?
Hello, man. I've been watching your thing for a long time. You're going on good.
I appreciate that, my brother. Thank you. I thank you. Who do you support?
Well, I did support PSG, but PSG give away the match because Neymar didn't do anything. All he does is shift.
When you say Neymar didn't do anything, are you someone who's not impressed? As a PSG fan, are you someone that's not impressed with Neymar?
Yeah. Because all he did is shift. He didn't go anywhere in the match. Di Maria was the best player on the pitch.
And is this something you see regularly from Neymar? Because I'm not going to lie, I don't watch him week in, week out. A lot of people rave about him being one of the top 2-3 players in the world. Is that based on skill only? Or in your eyes as a PSG fan, are there lots of things missing from his game?
There's a lot of things missing from his game because Neymar is all about the hype. And I've been seeing that thing from him. All about the hype and the shifting and the skills and the TV. But he's not a team player. the one time he did get the ball and he go up in the final third, he passed it. I don't know who he passed it to.
Yeah, listen, he didn't have a good second half. There's no doubt. How confident are you, buddy? How confident are you to get through to the next round?
Well, I'm not confident. I'm glad City win because City deserved it. City deserved it.
Wow.
Because even Mahrez, congratulate him on his goal. It's the best goal he ever scored in his life. Congratulations, man. Yes, man. Through the wall. Oh my God, man.
Yeah, I mean your wall coming apart of that is a madness. Listen, Michael, thank you for calling up and having your say. Top man indeed. Thank you. Paris Saint-Germain fans, or even just Neymar fans in general. You've heard it there from Michael, a Paris Saint-Germain fan. Neymar is hype. He's all about skills and shift. He isn't a team player. What do you make of that? Centurion's 100 points here says the players were nervous first half. It wasn't Pep's fault, to be honest. At the end of the day, I am happy. I bet you are. Of course you're happy with that. That second half display was sensational. Zach White here says City suck. Listen, bro, I wouldn't mind sucking and being in the Champions League final. I wouldn't mind that at all. I wouldn't mind that one little bit. Franklin said, this guy's going to dump Paris Saint-Germain and become a City fan. Maybe he will. He was very happy for Neymar. That's for sure. Next on the show, we've got Josh. Josh, mate, welcome back to the terrace, buddy. How you doing?
Good, mate. How you doing?
I'm well. What did you make of Poch's team's performance tonight? Of course, you're a Spurs fan. What did you make of his display?
You know, I thought they were fantastic first half, showing, City that they were it seemed like a better all-round team. Do you know what I mean? A team that can dig in, move the ball quickly, has a good shape and not just pretty football like City. But then second half, oh God, they just totally threw it away, didn't they, man? It's awful, to be honest with you. But one thing I will say, I've heard a lot of people just totally discounting, their chances in the second leg. And in my opinion, I think that like the time to dead the tie-off was that last 10 minutes where they had the extra man advantage, City. And the fact that they didn't, bring on Aguero and just get that one more goal. I do think, you're talking about Poch, who had a team that isn't even half as good as this PSG team. He's been in this situation before where he's been losing going into, a semi-final tie. And he's done this weird thing before as well, where we were good in the first half against Ajax, terrible second half, terrible first half of the second leg, and then won it in the final half. Do you know what I mean? So I honestly don't think that it's game over when you've got Neymar and Mbappe. Like I do think that it's going to be interesting next week.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Especially if Paris Saint-Germain pick up that first goal, it will open things up. And as this comment here says, over from Give Me Sport Facebook page, that discipline killed Paris Saint-Germain. I think it did. You could see them becoming frustrated with how much of the ball Man City were having. They weren't getting the room in behind or the breakaways that they were getting against Bayern Munich, and you could see that coming out from them. But I wouldn't write anybody off. You can't write Paris Saint-Germain off, not with the quality of players they have. You really, really can't. But I think if City score first in that game, it almost puts it out of reach. And that's what they've got to aim for as an example. But when you look at both these ties now, who would you put your money on qualifying for the final?
Look, this is probably a bit of like, Poch fanboyism or whatever, but I just have this feeling that he's done this to City before. Do you know what I mean? With a much lesser team, and like City want this so bad that it's just like I could see their heads going. If I had to put money on it, the smart money would be on City, but I've just got this inkling that PSG are going to score first, and it's going to be a crazy second leg, like it was, that game against Spurs where it was like 2-2 in the first 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
We haven't had yet in the Champions League this year a kind of
a comeback.
Yeah, there's been no comebacks, and there's been no sort of one team's going through, then another. You've had it earlier, like Dortmund scored that goal against City, and it was like, oh, game on. But that lasted about 10 minutes. Like we haven't had a game that's kind of yo-yoed, if you like, and maybe this will be the one in the next leg because of the attacking array of talent that's on display. In terms of Neymar, Josh, he's had a lot of stick tonight, namely from Michael, the Paris Saint-Germain fan that called in, that he's all hype, he's all about skill and flashiness rather than sort of proper football in the sense of getting your head down, scoring goals. What do you make of comments like that?
No, I've got to be honest. I don't really agree with that. The thing with, I do get where they're coming from. The thing with Neymar is, I feel like he had, and people might even slaughter me for saying this, but I think he had the talent of someone like, you know, a Messi or a Brazilian Ronaldo or even a Cristiano Ronaldo, but he doesn't have the drive that they had. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how Cristiano Ronaldo is probably the most driven athlete of all time. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, he does have the talent to be in that conversation, but he doesn't have the drive. So I don't think that he's like, you know, people are saying that he's all a bag of tricks. No, he's brilliant. He can do almost everything. But he's not in the top 5 conversation, I'd say.
I think for me, it's just, again, I don't watch him domestically enough. And so I'm not going to be overtly judgmental. But when I watch him in the Champions League, it's just the amount of gilt-edged chances I've seen him miss or abject performances like we saw in the second half compared to what I saw from Messi and Ronaldo in their peak years. Yeah. I can't put him anywhere near those players. And I think where I get frustrated with the Neymar talk is when, and I said it in the first half, I was like, I think I tweeted saying he's too good for the game. And he was. Then he has those second half performances. I don't remember seeing very many of them from Ronaldo's and from Messi's when they were at their peak. And I just think people need to be mindful where they place and put him. But Josh, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say, buddy.
Cool. Cheers,
Love
Terry.
it. Man. Speak to you soon. Cheers, Josh. Take care, mate. Thank you. Thank you there to CJ Fraser. Says all English final. Let's go. A comment here from John Quest who says, just to let you know, we as Man City fans don't hide when we lose or draw. We don't gloat when we win, but maybe raise a smile or two. I hear that, John. I hear that. And you should be really proud of your team's performance tonight. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Comment here says PSG will do a comeback. Let's see if PSG do a comeback. It's going to be an amazing semi-final second leg. No doubt about it whatsoever. Let's see what's being said here. Neymar is not a strong player. Goes down so easy. He wouldn't stand a chance in the 90s era of football. All he has is skills and technique. He has the ability to change the game. He plays for fame and money, not a team player or a club player. They are damning words about Neymar this evening. Langan Sweet with a super chat says, if Pep plays that same starting 11, City will go through. That starting 11 is unbeaten. City have only lost one when he changes the players. If it's unbeaten, then don't change it then, Pep Guardiola. Don't overthink it, sir, like you have done on some occasions in the past. We've got a super chat here that's just come in from Ro. Ro says, Neymar and Mbappe are future Ballon d'Or contenders. Stop disrespecting them. And Mbappe has been playing in semi-finals and finals for 4 years, Champions Leagues and World Cups. I don't think anybody's on here. One person's comment earlier criticized Mbappe, but no one said that he was poor tonight. He just didn't get the service. Neymar has amazing skills. He's an amazing footballer. But we have to listen to other people's gripes and frustrations with his second half performance. I think that's still fair to sit here and listen to. We're going to do some more calls now. Next up on the show, we're going to have Mido. Mido is a Man City fan. What are you saying, Mido?
Come on! Sorry. Yes, I'm very happy. Big win. Yeah, in the first half we were very poor. You know, but credit to the players. They responded well in the second half. De Bruyne scored such a weird goal, and then the second goal, fantastic goal from Mahrez. And yeah, like I said, in the first half we were poor, but second half we played really well. We were absolutely amazing. Ruben Dias was fantastic. He had Mbappe in his pocket, like other people said. So yeah, I'm very happy. But yeah, the tie is not over yet. But I'm confident that we'll get the job done on in the second leg.
Yeah, I'm sure you are confident. What in your right? What did Pep do to get that second half performance? What were the key changes? What was the key message at halftime? Do you feel?
I think we always do well in the second half, because every time when we play in the first half poor, in second half we play well. It looks like Guardiola at halftime talk when we don't play well in the first half. It's like he's shouting at them. He's angry and he's telling them to wake up. And we always do well in the second half. I don't know why, but we cannot keep relying on that. But but his tactics got absolutely spot on.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think he did in that second half. He was sensational. Mido, thank you for calling into the show, buddy. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Top man. Jack Jones here, very happy. Over on Give Me Sport on Facebook. Talk about Mahrez. Listen, what a clutch moment. And you know what? It did go through the wall, but he saw the opening. He put it through there. And you've got to give a man credit for that. There's no doubt about it. Next on the show, we're going to have Virat. We're going to get on the show next with us. Hello, welcome to the Terrace, mate. Who do you support?
Hi, how are you doing, man?
I'm very good. Who do you support, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just seeing your post. It was so good, the show. Come to praise my team, City. Yeah, the performance, performance-wise, it was a bit deceptive in the first half. To come from the nervousness to fight back the PSG goal from Marquinhos. But after De Bruyne scored, you can see the synergy, bring back the energy between the players. Just as beautiful as was Mahrez's goal. Yeah, through the barriers, man. What a free kick. What a free kick was that?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you confident that you'll go through? Are you confident of winning the second leg now?
There's no way holding back. We have come so far from losing to this level, and I was a bit disappointed. I was enjoying this match very until they started to lose. You can see PSG doing some fouls. It was not so fun anymore to watch the football. From Neymar, didn't expect that kind of things. Yeah, this was the dark side of his football.
I understand. I hear you on that. A lot of people don't like the sort of trying to get people sent off.
Yeah.
Listen, buddy, thank you for calling in and having your say. Really appreciate that, mate. You take care. All the best, mate.
Thanks. Yeah. Continue your show.
I will definitely will do. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
All the best, mate. Thank you. Thank you. Hamed here says only Chelsea can beat Man City. Adams says Paris Saint-Germain need to hire Oli just for the second leg because he's the only one who can beat Pep. A bit of slander being thrown in here. Amos over on Give Me Sport says it was a spectacular comeback from City. I was like, PSG were better suited to win the game when we watched the first few minutes before the City goal, and the goal just validated my opinion. But Man City surprised me. And I agree with you 100%. That second half City performance was out of this world. It was truly, truly sensational. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. It was brilliant, to say the least. Next up on the show, we're gonna have. Oh, I'm gonna put Lincoln in now. Lincoln, what you saying, buddy?
Hey man, Eric here, everyone. Yeah, I was just thinking. Okay, it was a good game. It was a good game. It was kind of a game in two halves. But I was just looking at the second goal, Mahrez's goal. Like, if you're in a wall in a Champions League semi-final, how are you not willing to put your whole body on the line? Like the replay, I was like, oh, it's a good free kick. When I see the replay, it was like, it kind of pissed me off because as a goalkeeper, yeah, I'm obviously, I'm a goalkeeper. Navas, I feel so sorry for him. Like the cross shot from De Bruyne for the first goal was not much you could do about that. But then the second goal, just the players were doing nothing for him, man. It was just poor. But overall, the game, it was a good game. It was end to end.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Would you make City the favourites now to go through? Would you make them favourites?
In an ideal world, yes, but I still expect Poch and PSG to come up with something. And when you have Mbappe and Neymar on your team, there's always something. Also, now that Idrissa Gana Gueye is ruled out for the second leg, there's a former Man United player that's not Argentine that's probably gonna be starting for them. And Herrera, maybe you could put a span in the works for them going to the final. Hopefully. Yeah. Please.
Maybe he could. Lincoln, great call, mate. Thank you for coming on, having your say, buddy. Take care. All the best, bro. Next on the show, I'm not too sure how to pronounce this gentleman's name. I'm not going to lie to you, so I'm going to put him on. He's sitting there waiting patiently. Welcome to the terrace, bro. How do I say your name, first of all?
My name is Opolua. I'm too Nigerian, African name.
Opolua, there we go, mate.
Yes,
lovely.
yes.
Who do you support?
I'm a Chelsea fan, 100%. Before the game, I wanted because I thought it would be easier to play. If Chelsea go through, it would be easier to play Marseille in the final rather than playing Paris Saint-Germain because they're too quick. But it was a good game from City. But I just think, not being biased, PSG should have won the game. But it just shows character. It just shows what Pep Guardiola has got in his team. It shows the City players are willing to play for the manager. Neymar is just, I feel like Neymar is a bad influence on Mbappe. No disrespect to Neymar, but I wouldn't have a player like that in my team.
Wow.
Who, when it's time to show, like, this is a stage where you need to show what you've got. This has got nothing to do about how much you earn, whatever. PSG's been trying to get to the finals trying to win the Champions League for so long. This is where character comes out. Just leave whatever your show, whatever your dribble, whatever. Yeah, just bring out the best in you. Play for the team. The moment that I was like, nah, there's no way somebody's gonna tell me Ronaldo, Messi, and then you're saying Neymar. No way. I don't want to hear it. No way. Don't do that, because it was 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain, and then it was 1-1 after the Bruyne goal. And then it was 1-1. The ball in the middle, get the game going. The ball was passed to Neymar, and the next thing he did was to do a leg over, whatever. If I was playing in that team, mate, I wouldn't we're trying to get a goal, and then you're doing all of this.
Mate, I hear you on that, and I understand people's criticism of Neymar. When you say a bad influence on Mbappe, do you mean in terms of like lack of work rate and effort?
Exactly, yeah. Like it's not there that they want it. This guy's just too young. The zeal is not there that we want this thing. We've been wanting this thing for so long, and I feel like Neymar should just, man, no disrespect to Paris Saint-Germain or whatever, but Neymar, for me, I'm so sorry, man. His attitude, he's a world-class player. He's so good. Fleeks everything. He knows how to play football, but that's not just good enough. That's not good enough. Like, your attitude is most important. Like, it's most important.
Listen, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Credit to City, man. Hopefully, Chelsea, Man City finals. Chelsea, Man City final.
I was about to say to you, we've got a comment here from Ahmed on Give Me Sport, who says, Terry, this has 2008 vibes written all over it. All English final. Hopefully this time Chelsea wins. Come on, Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, it could be an all English final, which would just be epic for both you and City, but for just English football in general. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Next on the show, we're going to have Lamin. Lamin's here with us. What you saying, buddy?
Yes, Terry. Football fans, yeah, they have to be the most fickle fans I've seen in a long, long time. I swear at halftime, everyone was saying how Neymar was like the third best player in the world, how he's like such a great player. And then by full time, everyone is going in at him. I mean, like, to me, the whole PSG team, yeah, everyone was poor. I even thought like Mbappe was poor in the second half. All I saw him just walking around. He wasn't tracking back. There was like no effort to win the ball back. He was just like hit him on the counter and then he would do the running basically. I don't think the tie is done. As a Chelsea fan, I'm not even thinking about the final. We have to do our job first, innit? But with this one, what it does is that it sets it up for a great second round, basically. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. And whoever we get, it's going to be well, if we get there, it's going to be a great final. But people going in on Neymar, they just need to chill, man. Because 1 minute you're saying like he's like behind Messi and Ronaldo, and then the next he's just trash. Like, just make up your mind, really. Like, but yeah, man.
No, listen, bro. I do hear what you're saying, but for me, you've got to look at it from the point of view of his performance was the wrong way around. When you start slowly and finish well, people remember it. But he started great, and in that second half, I think people saw. There's two footballers from an attacking sense in the last 15, 20 years that have just been exemplary. Messi and Ronaldo. Put them in a category by themselves. Every other player will have things they're great at and things they are poor at. No matter how good their technical ability is, there might be an issue with work rate. And I think with Neymar, it isn't about not working hard. With Neymar, I think it's more how does he work? What does he do when the going gets tough, when it's hard, when it isn't going his way? And in the second half, it wasn't going PSG's way. He's not a roll the sleeves up kind of player, so people focus on that element. Paul Pogba gets labelled with that. Like, there are certain elements. So maybe it's a case of, well, that isn't what Neymar's good at. So maybe in those circumstances, that's where the manager has to say, do you know what? The game's gone into a scenario where Neymar doesn't flourish. So take him off and put somebody else in. You know, there may be other options out there that you can turn around. I'm not even sure if he's on the bench, but maybe you turn around and say, right, well, we'll bring Julian Draxler on instead because in this scenario, he's better suited. So I do feel a little bit sorry for Neymar, but I do understand people's criticisms of him because he was invisible in that second half. And any top-class player is going to be labelled with those kind of things. There's no doubt. In terms of the second leg, do you make City the favourites to go through now, or do you still think there's a big sting in the towel?
I think right now you have to have City as the favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised with anything really. We saw it with the PSG Bayern game. Like, that was an entertaining end to end, like loads of goals in, especially in that first round. So PSG will come at City, and they have to score. I think it's going to be a great game for the neutral. But I still have to just edge City. And if I'm being honest, I would rather face City in the final, only because PSG lost the final last year. And I just have this thing about karma. Like, I don't think any team has ever lost 2 back-to-back Champions League finals in a row. So that's the only reason why I don't want to face PSG in the final if we get there, because we still have to do our job.
There we go, mate. Listen, thank you for coming on, Lamin, and having your say. Really appreciate that, buddy. Take care.
Worries,
thank you. We'll go through some quick fire calls now to get your opinions. First up, we're going to go to Tenzin is going to be on the line here. Tenzin, what are you saying?
Thanks for having me on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Who do you support?
Manchester City. I couple of things. There's a lot of Chelsea fans who were talking about, oh, if we meet them in the final, it's going to be similar to the FA Cup. But I think it's going to be completely different because we played different personnel and different formation. We had a number 10, which meant that our wingers couldn't stay wide, which meant that we couldn't pin them back. So that's one of them. Another one is we had Mendy on one side, we had Torres on the other side. We had completely different. Like, no, we didn't play as false 9 either. So yeah, that's one thing. Today's game, after the first half, I just thought that we were just like, we were not good. I just thought that PSG were just a better team, and I thought, okay, this is our standard. We need a Haaland or we need a Mbappe, otherwise we're not going to go ahead. And then the reality hit, which means that PSG have to play their first 11 every single game because they are in the French Cup, French League second position. So that means they cannot rotate, and we can rotate. And I think in the second game, I think we're going to be much more stronger because we played our first team against Tottenham in the last game, but we're going to rest all of our players, and then we're going to have a complete fresh team, while PSG have to play their first 11, and then they have to play first 11 again. So I think this second half is going to be a repeat of what's going to happen in the second leg.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it's going to be a real interesting one. There's no doubt about it. Who's your standout performer tonight?
Diaz had a couple of good defense defensive situations against Mbappe, but I think it was an overall team. There were a few players that were very disappointing. Like Phil Foden literally could have had a hat trick. And if he has a hat trick, he plays well in the final, plays well in the Europe, and then all of a sudden he might actually win the Ballon d'Or. But
Phil Foden.
yes, because if he scores a final and he does, let's say he scores one goal in the final, and let's say he scores a couple of goals in the two semifinals, and the England, let's say, reaches a final, which is big ifs, but it's possible because he had clear-cut chance in the first half and a clear-cut chance in the second half, which he himself made. He, ran through everybody, and he could have tried to, outside of the boot with his left foot, and he hit his straight to the keeper, and that could have gone to the far post very easily. Another game, boom, it goes from the far post, and he would have added 2 goals. And then he wins us the quarterfinals. He could have won us the semifinal, and then plays well in the Champions League, and then it's all up to Euros. Like whoever does well in the Euros, if England does well, because England have a very good squad, then Foden could have been there.
But the Ballon d'Or ahead of
I know, but you have to look at who the rest of the players are. You have to look at Lewandowski. Okay, went out in the Champions League. He's not going to do so well with Poland. And okay, Mbappe, if he wins with France, okay, give it to Mbappe. But maybe they don't do well. But then if they get out in semi-final, they might not even win the French league. How can you give it to Mbappe if it doesn't win the French league, doesn't win the World Cup, doesn't win the Champions League? So who are left?
You have thought about this. You really, really have. Listen, I really appreciate you coming on, having your say. Really good points made there. Top man. Viewers, Phil Foden for the Ballon d'Or. Are you having that? Hit that like button for me right about now. If you're watching over on Give Me Sports Facebook page, hit that like button as well. Next up on the show, we've got man like Gellimus Prime in the house. What you saying, buddy?
Hi. That game, in the first half, City got it a bit wrong, but Pep, he was brilliant. He changed it up tactically, made the tweaks. Poch fails to react to it. This guy is not an elite level manager. I don't know what United fans, this world class dream that they see in him. Like, is he? Maybe he's a little bit of an upgrade on Ollie, but I don't even truly believe that myself. But in terms of, Terry, you remember a few months ago when they were saying that, if he'd come into us at this point, he'd by far come in and win us the league and storm through it. This guy's not an elite level manager. He won't win this. It looks like he's not going to win Ligue 1, and I don't see him being able to pull off some tactical masterclass in the second leg to get through to that final. The only thing really that could possibly send him through is if Poch or if Pep overthinks it, which I don't think he's going to do, because usually when Pep overthinks it in the latter stages of the Champions League, it's usually in the first leg. City are now through. They have 2 away goals. PSG have to come to the Etihad and score at least 3 to go through, because there's no way they're going to keep City out as well. So as it stands, City are through.
So when it comes to Poch, I know you said that a lot of people say that he's, could have won the league this season with Man United. He's an elite level manager. Do you just not see it at all?
No, he's not. He's not an elite level manager. Poch is on the same level as the likes of Brendan Rodgers and Ollie. He's not an elite level manager. He's not like Tuchel. He's not like Pep. He's not like what Fergie was in his prime. He's not like Ancelotti in his prime. He's not like Mourinho in his prime. The guy is not an elite level manager at all.
What's he lacking? What doesn't he have, in your opinion?
Tactical nous. The bottle to, like we saw, Neymar wasn't having much of an effect in the second half. A stronger manager, a better manager, takes Neymar off or devises some sort of plan to get Neymar back into the game. And he didn't do either of it. PSG were losing control of the midfield battle, and Poch thinks playing Verratti as a number 10 is the best way to go about it. No. Like going 1-0 up against Man City, even if the game ends 1-1, that's still fine. You're still in the tie. The game ended 2-1, and Man City should have scored more. They should have been more clinical, Man City, and they weren't. Like, this guy is going to get sacked next season. It's clear this guy is going to get sacked next season, because if he doesn't win the Ligue 1 title, there's going to be so much pressure on him next season, and he's not going to do well in the Champions League again. And even if he scrapes past the title, I think this guy's still going to get sacked. There's so many better managers out there, and it's just embarrassing what's happening right now. And if you're like a crazy fanatic about Poch, like, please break it down and explain to me how good this guy is, because I don't get it. I don't see it. He's not elite.
Brian has had his say there. Thank you very much for coming on and having your say, buddy. Really appreciate that. Stay backstage for me. Lots of comments coming in disagreeing. We have shared the link again if people want to come on and have their say. We've shared that in all the comment sections. Neeks is here with us now. Neeks, what are you here to say, buddy?
I had to put on the Monaco shirt because PSG let me down, so I got to rub it in a bit more. Whoa, what are they doing, man? You got 1-0 up. They dominated the first half. Dominated. Like, they were passing through Man City so easy. I've got to put it down on Poch. I think Prime is right. Like, most of what he said. I think Poch is he's definitely an elite level coach. He has a long way to go in terms of manager. You need to win stuff. As a coach, you can, get the best out of certain players, etc. But there's certain things that you're supposed to do in the match. And there's some, I'm not going to speak about all the other managers that we are told that Poch is better than. Some of clubs that I may or may not support. But you're 2-1 down to Manchester City, and you haven't made one sub. 77 minutes in, you're at home and you haven't made one sub. Like, as Prime said, you could see in that second half, Man City were just pressing more and more and more and more. And no, they weren't creating a hell load of chances. They weren't testing Navas, but it felt like it was only a matter of time until they actually create a chance and possibly score. But he didn't do anything to stop them. They were trying to pass out from the back. Man City were pressing them on the left, on the right. He didn't think, okay, let me change whether it was the formation or the strategy. Do I drop another man in to help us beat the press? They were just, all right, we pass. All right, let's go long. So, I mean, for me, I think Man City are through. 2 away goals. PSG need to score 2 with no reply if they're going to go for inside 90 minutes. And I can't see that happening. I think 2-1 down at home. They gave it away and they lost their head at the end. In the end, they're probably fortunate or happy to get away with 2-1, where Man City probably should have pushing for the third. Granted, both the goals were lucky, but yeah, they gave that game away in the second half.
Do you know what's interesting? You look at that Paris Saint-Germain bench. They had, in no particular order, from worst to best, attacking options: Keane, Draxler, Cardi. Do you know how many teams would kill for that kind of talent on their bench?
In their bloody team, in their 11.
Their 11. There was no and I think that's where Mauricio Pochettino does need to be criticized tonight.
100%.
That's where, that's what he has to be looked at, because it was the lack. It wasn't the fact Pep Guardiola changed his system, got his players to work a bit harder, and they nullified you and pinned you back. It was the lack of response. It was just, like I know you watch fighting. Sometimes you see a boxer and it's like he doesn't know what to do. It's like, I'm getting caught. They're not good enough. Sometimes you get a mismatch in class, and I don't know what to do to stop this person from punching me in the face. That's what it looked like, and that is why the frustration came out in the players, because they were set up to sit and play in a certain way, and nothing was working. And
you look at the first half and how much Neymar was involved in the game, and I'm looking at that first half like, this is like Ollie ball on steroids, because you got world-class Neymar and the threat of Mbappe. They've pushed Cancelo, they've pushed Walker all the way back. They're not even leaving their half really, because they're scared. Neymar's picking up the pockets and turning and running that man and paying us 1-2s. And the second half, Neymar's not in the game. That alone should say to Poch, how do I get my best player in the game? He didn't do anything to change it. And it's at this level in the Champions League semi-final, it's those little tactical differences that are the margins between going out and going through.
And I think this is why I do laugh at people that said if he came to Man United in December with our squad, he definitely would have won the league. It's just, he ain't quite there. And you know what? The one thing I'd say about all these young managers who haven't won major trophies. So when you think of the Nagelsmanns, the Mauricio Pochettinos, etc., they're all good coaches, but none of them are proven as elite level managers yet. And it's in these moments, in these games, when you see how good or bad they really are. And as you say, City have got the advantage to go through now, and it's going to be a difficult one because can Paris Saint-Germain play at full throttle for 90 minutes? A lot of people are saying, I heard the commentators saying it, see some comments tonight over on Give Me Sport and here. They look like they run out of steam as well with the speed they had to play in that first half. Do you think there's any truth in that?
I don't think so. I think they went 1-0 up and they thought, yeah, let's just sit back and hit them on the counter. Like, you don't do that against Man City. You can't just sit back on the edge of your box and hold a 1-0. I don't think it was an issue of lack of energy or anything like that. I don't think City were cutting them apart. They weren't like they were passing and pulling them across the pitch. But I think their biggest issue was just that they couldn't play out from the back and they had no idea how to actually transition from back to front once the City cut off like their initial passing lanes. I think that was purely it, as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Neeks, bro, I appreciate you coming on and having your say tonight. Top man. Thank you. Make sure like buttons are being hit. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. We are closing in on 190,000 subscribers over here on YouTube. So if you are watching on Give Me Sport, when you're done, go to YouTube, just search Football Terrace. Come check us out. Everyone watching on the Football Terrace, make sure you check out the Give Me Sport Facebook page. It's an amazing place for sports content. Our very own Igal has been trending on there today for blaming Real Madrid's poor performance on the rain. Loads of great stuff kicking off over there. Next on the show, we've got Ellie. Ellie's here with us. Who do you support, Ellie?
I'm a Chelsea fan.
Chelsea, what do you want to say about tonight's game, mate?
I watched the game, an Arabic commentator, because I'm an Arab. Manchester City first half weren't great. Like PSG, I was telling my brother, PSG made in the first half Man City looking like Barnsley. But the second half, Man City, Pep Guardiola, one of the best managers in the world, and that's why he changed it up. And Manchester City, with 2 world-class goals, found a way to win the game.
Yeah, no doubt. What do you think the difference was from first to second half? What do you think it is that Pep Guardiola did to get that level of performance out of his team?
You know, I think it's more what PSG did than what Man City did. Because if PSG kept on playing attacking football like they did in the first half, I think they would have won the game. But PSG were like, okay, we're 1-0 up, we're at home, let's not concede. And they started defending. And that's how Man City scored 2 goals.
Yeah, no. Sorry about that. I was just checking something.
No problem.
No, I totally understand that. It's what do you make of the criticism of Poch tonight? A lot of people saying that he looked out of his depth. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to get his team back into the game. Do you think that's fair criticism?
I don't agree. I hate Tottenham. I'm a Chelsea fan. I have to hate Tottenham, right? But when Pochettino was Tottenham manager, I always said when we had Sarri, when we had Conte, I've always wanted Pochettino as Chelsea manager. So I rate Poch very highly. No, look, and also, what's his name? Idrissa Gueye got a red card. So the game changed. He couldn't have done anything. Like, I know you're talking about Keane, Draxler, and Icardi, but who said if Gueye didn't get a red card, he wouldn't have brought at least one of them on?
I mean, maybe, yeah, but that was in the 77th minute. That red card came in the 77th minute. There was no sign of those players warming up. And they were under the cosh. They already had conceded. Hang on, they were already 2-1 down at that point. Like, for me, I think Poch got it wrong tonight. But listen, Ellie, thank you very much for coming on, bro. Really appreciate that. Not a problem at all, mate. Thank you. Next up, we've got Zig, who's going to be on the line with us. What you saying, buddy?
Oh, yeah. Man United fan here. Just wanted to talk about the game. Like, first half, I thought PSG were amazing. Like, they should have probably used that dominance to score like a couple more goals. But the second half, Man City just were all over them, to be honest. yeah, Poch, he just got outclassed by Pep in the second half. Like literally, like I'm just a bit like tired of seeing these like Poch lovers saying, "Oh yeah, if Poch was here, he would have done miracles for us." Like, to be honest, what Poch needs to do, Poch needs to do the same thing that he did Oli at the Etihad. He needs to win it. He needs to get that 2-0 clean sheet. But yeah, but just the 2 goals as well were so weird. I can't lie. Like De Bruyne's goal, it just ghosted into the back of a net, and then Mahrez as well. That wall was just poor as well. The red card as well obviously didn't help PSG as well. To be honest, this game kind of it feels very similar to the 3-1 defeat that we had against PSG in the Champions League. So that's what I'm saying. But with the red card from Fred's missing chances, but
no, I hear you on that one. I think for me it's an interesting one this game tonight, because the goals were not. They're better chances City tonight they didn't take. Like Phil Foden had a couple of really good chances, didn't score, that header near the end, but it was kind of the more innocuous ones that went in. But you still wouldn't say City weren't value for that lead, which I think for me is that's what impressed me with their performance. I thought that element was very, very good indeed. Sort of no doubt about that.
I just want to say something quickly.
Yeah, cool.
This is a reason why we still have to do these protests and get the Glazers out, because we shouldn't be allowing Man City to win the Champions League. Like, we're going to potentially see Man City win the first Champions League under the Glazers, which is unacceptable. So we have to keep on promoting this Glazers out thing still. So yeah.
No doubt. Always, bro. Listen, thank you very, very much for coming on, having your say. Top
Cheers,
man. Yeah, thank you, buddy. We're gonna do one more call tonight. We're gonna get We're gonna get Ahmed on first. Ahmed, what you saying, buddy? He's a Paris Saint-Germain fan by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm a PSG fan. I have to say, the disrespect Poch is getting, man, is ridiculous. PSG lost this game. I don't think City won this game. Because, first of all, we need to think, how do we get in this stage?
Let me say something quickly.
Sorry. Go ahead, carry on.
Oh, sorry. First of all, how did we get here? It was flawless performances by PSG. Not flawless, but good performances by Poch. Good tactical performances. And now, how is it his fault that we lost our heads? I don't think Poch could have done anything about it. Because, first of all, this first half, we controlled the game. It was a brilliant tactical performance by PSG. Second half, City didn't do anything. Like, can please someone tell me what City did? In the way they created chances, no movement. They just passed the ball. I understand that that's the way they play, but PSG, we wanted to play that well. We wanted to defend against them, because it's like what Chelsea did in the FA Cup semi-final. They go 1-0 up and they defend, because City don't have that striker, that movement in front of goal. But I think we lost the game. And fair enough to City. They won the game. They deserve it. But I don't think they outplayed us, outclassed us, like people are saying. I think PSG lost that game. It was individual mistakes.
I mean, look, there wasn't a plethora of chances in the second half, but they pinned you back. They had nearly 70% of the ball in the second half. You registered one shot.
No, Terry, I understand that, but that's the way we wanted to play, because we have been doing that against Bayern Munich. We did that against Barcelona. That's the way we wanted to play. And let's be honest, Terry, barring those 2 mistakes we did City threaten us in some way? I think we controlled the game pretty well by cutting all their passes, not letting them have the ball on the wide areas too much. I think we played pretty well up till that goal we conceded, the first goal. And then we lost our head. And that's the players' fault. I blame this on the players, not the manager. He can't control Idrissa Gueye doing a mad tackle, Neymar doing stupid tackles up front. That's not Poch's fault. Let's not forget what Poch did against Hansi Flick, what he did against Coleman. I think he's getting disrespected just because his history at Tottenham. Because he's playing in a big team now. I understand he gets criticized when he loses, but Pep Guardiola has been flopping it for 4 years now. And I'm not taking this disrespect he's got as the same way Poch has got it. I think it's just because of the history.
That's because Pep's won 2 Champions League and umpteen league titles. You can't compare Poch and Pep.
No, I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying he's getting disrespected, and he doesn't deserve it, in my opinion.
So you don't think Poch you don't think he had a bad night
He
tonight?
didn't have the best game. I think he should have made the sub earlier. I agree. But to say
Okay.
he's a clueless manager, Pep outclassed him and all these things, come on, man. Let's be honest. Poch wasn't perfect today, but you can't say he's an average manager just because he lost 2-1 to City, apparently the best Premier League team of all time. So for me, I think the disrespect is unreal, to be honest.
I respect your opinion. I know people have called in and said that tonight. Thank you for coming on, having your say, Ahmed. Means a great deal to us. Thank you very, very much indeed. So, excuse me, everyone. Got a frog in my throat. Sorry, do excuse me. Next on the show, actually, we've got Chris is with us. Chris, welcome to the terrace. What do you want to say?
Hey Terry, it's a pleasure to be here, man. I've been following you guys on YouTube for maybe the past month and a half or so.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Chelsea fan. And I'm gonna just say it just as it is, you know. Chelsea were the ones who had to stop the quadruple. Chelsea are the ones who are gonna have to stop City from getting the UCL. It's as simple as it is, man.
Listen, you think City? Well, first of all, you think City will go through? Are you confident as a Chelsea man you can beat this City team in the final?
I wouldn't say that I'm confident, but I think what City are poor at is what Chelsea is good at. So at least we have a good chance because City struggle to score. Chelsea are really good defensively. So I think that would make for an interesting matchup. It wouldn't be a high-scoring game. I'm thinking maybe a 1-0, 2-1, something along that line. But yeah, I back us, you know. In a one-off game with on the Tommy too. Yeah, I back it, man.
There we go, buddy. Listen, thank you for calling in and having your say. Really do appreciate that. Top man. Final call. We're going to go to Who Knows. Who Knows? What you saying, buddy?
Yeah, I'm all good, Terry. How are you? Good?
Yeah, I'm very, very well. What do you want to say?
Yeah, no, I just want to keep it short. I think everyone else said what I wanted to say. I think it's about time people put respect on Manchester City. I think all this talk about Chelsea and all of this, I don't see it if they do meet in the final. I think Chelsea, their biggest problem is not scoring goals at the end or finishing. And personally, I don't see Chelsea doing this so-called miracle thing that all their fans are trying to say. I just think Manchester City are just a better team overall. I think Manchester City are a better team overall in general. And that's left in the Champions League in general. I think PSG proved today like what my problem with them is the fact that they just don't have the bottle. Neymar is that same petulant kid he's always been. He's not going to change from that. And the next leg is going to be the same. It's going to be crying for penalties and stuff. Yeah.
Listen,
I don't want to say it. I hate to say it, but I think Manchester City, they own this. It's theirs to...
they own it. Wow. Yeah. Big statement there. Listen, Who Knows? Thank you for calling in, mate. Really appreciate that, buddy. Top man. Thank you. What Lemon King on now, who's got a City avatar, so maybe he's a City fan. Lemon King, welcome. What do you want to say?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, bro. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm scared about facing Chelsea. I think in the finals going to be Chelsea v Man City. I'm just scared to face Chelsea because I think Chelsea is a better team than PSG. I just think PSG lack the heart to win Champions League. I just think that their style of play is just terrible. I don't think they have a system. I think Poch is like a bottle job. He's just a terrible manager. I just don't think the PSG players know what to do, if you know what I mean. Like they can't, like they don't have a style for some reason. Like they're such an expensive squad, but they can't control a match. They fail to control a match against Man City. They fail to control a match against Bayern. It's just PSG. I just hate him so much. It's just failures.
Here we go. Listen, Lemon King, thank you for coming on and having your say. It says Paris Saint-Germain are failures. Listen, everyone that's tuned in to us this evening, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Hit that like button right now. Share this stream across your Facebook page and timeline. Share it in your WhatsApp groups. Share it on your Twitter feeds, etc. We're back tomorrow with more content for you here at the Football Terrace and at Give Me Sport. Take care.